Hey everyone, this is Rob,
Hey, Michelle.
and welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Mar-
Arr. All right, so this week up on the docket, of course, as always, we'll be going over what Michelle was up to this week, as well as community updates.
I'm not even gonna pretend you.
No.
Oh, cool.
And then we will go into the actual update for this week. So there was an update as well as some additional Varlamore stuff, but this is for not this part, but part two, and asking about quests and rewards and stuff like that. So that was pretty interesting. And then we'll be finishing off, as always, with a Q&A.
Yeah.
Feel free to join in on the Q&A by asking us questions anywhere on any of our socials. That'll be down below, or just go to discord.gg/boonvape and we have a questions section, or I mean you can really ask them anywhere, but
Yeah.
question sections would be the best place. But yeah, so we will have that at the end. Before we get into all that really cool stuff though, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going well. Just a heads up, this is going to purposely be a short episode because I have family in town, so I just don't have enough time to
It's
record
a
along with them.
family emergency.
Maybe not. It seems like it's actually gonna be okay, but who knows? Maybe I'm gonna do next
Family
week.
pseudo emergency.
Yeah, but anyway, my mom is in Southern California, so tomorrow when I'd normally be recording, I'm gonna go hang out with my mom.
Yeah, so we don't have as much time this week, but it should feel relatively normal.
Yeah, because there's not a lot to go over this week.
Yeah.
I have not done any raids that got purples. I haven't gotten any skills up. All I've been doing is Scurrious.
And you got the pet
No,
twice.
I didn't, but I got 6,000 KC. I'm officially twice the drop rate on the pet. I think it's something like an 83% chance of getting the pet by now. So it's still no, it's more than that because it's a 13% chance of not getting it.
I think the pet is always 50-50.
Oh my god, you get it or you don't, whatever. I'm like rank 100 and something for Scurries now, which is like okay, but yeah, I just really wanted to get either 6,000 or the pet because I'm gonna do a Scurrious cosplay this week. Anyone watching on YouTube, you could see the picture rat I
Put
made.
him closer.
Okay,
Show him up close. Zoom in to the rat.
he's a babushka. He's a babushka.
Yeah, Michelle really likes it.
Dude, I've been giggling about him all day. He's so cute. Yeah, and then my ranger, I just did like a little scar, but it doesn't look the
I
best.
was saying that even though it's not technically accurate, thematically, I think it would be accurate to put a little green ranger's cap on him.
I don't think I'm gonna go to Michael's again, but in the future, I don't need to be as serious with making it look exactly how it is.
Yeah, I
I
feel
mean,
like
people loved my Shura cosplay, and Loki, it didn't look like Shura.
yeah, I feel like if the emotion of the costume is conveyed,
Yeah,
you can kind of do whatever you want.
that's true, and I'll still very clearly be a rat.
Yes. I mean, you don't even need to
I
dress
just,
up.
just all the time, a
Yeah,
rat.
just rat.
So yeah, just doing that. The Scurry's cosplay. If you are new to the podcast, I'm fundraising so we could go to England during Runefest, not at Runefest because we didn't get tickets. So I've been doing cosplays every Friday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we also do little bossing competitions. This week we are going to do Guardians of the Rift, and anyone's invited. Whoever gets the most money will get a bond. And I think we're at $1,600 raised. Someone gave $160 randomly when I was just like not even fundraising, just doing a regular stream.
Shout
So
out.
I have to do a slit in my eyebrow, which I've been putting off. I think I'm just gonna do it tonight.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm also like not not feeling bad about having to record, not having to record tomorrow, because if I accidentally shave off part of my eyebrow, you guys won't know till next week.
Yeah. Also,
And
the way she said it was a little bit sus. So
line in the
she's going
eyebrow.
to be shaving a very thin line in her eyebrow.
Yes.
The way you said slit kind of sounded like you were just gonna like cut your eyebrow open.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. That's like slit
Yeah.
is generally not.
I've just whenever I've been looking at him, I've been looking at him slit too. So just a little line in my eyebrow because it's one of my forfeits for raising enough money. Because I think part of the is just the thrill of seeing if I mess up and shave off my eyebrow on accident.
Oh, you have to do it on stream then.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah, which is worse. Yeah, I'm really nervous for it, but it should be fun to try. And hopefully, I'll be going back to raids and getting purples now, and maybe still doing Scurrious
You should do it
sometimes. But
blindfolded.
no,
I mean, that would be funny.
it would be funny, but that would be like a $5,000 goal. Ain't no
Oh,
way, bro. I'd look so dumb.
Or not.
And with a family emergency, going to visit everyone
It,
tomorrow, and
it
I
depends on how good you could do it perfectly. Who knows?
oh my god, probably not. That's all I've been up to though. Yeah, I think that's literally it. I haven't really been doing much. Oh, I did my Shira cosplay though, and there is pictures of it. It wasn't the most accurate, like I said, but I still had a lot of fun, and people seem to like it.
It was a little too blue.
Yeah, it was too blue. It should have been more greenish blue and lighter in general, but it was fun. I used so much body paint. Robert's gotten really good at putting body paint on quickly.
Yep.
And I have more stuff on my wish list. If any of you guys ever wants to like invest in my cosplays, I guess I'll put that in the description because I don't actually have money to buy more cosplays. So yeah, it's a e-begging situation.
Cool.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I have played. I don't know. I think like a little bit of Helldivers, a little bit of League of Legends, and
Elder Holes.
for the most part, it was some Elder Scrolls Online. I made a new character. I have like 5 max level characters, which isn't really saying much because there's like levels above max level that I don't have many of. For instance, you can have like over like 3,000, and I have 300. So,
Jesus.
but I leveled another character because they're having like a 10th anniversary leveling event for the game. The game's 10 years old now.
That you didn't know about it first.
I didn't know about it first, and I started playing because I saw like some ads for it, and yeah, so that was pretty fun. Played that a little bit, and then besides that, just kind of like been hanging out. I'm in the process of starting up a virtual machine and adding Ubuntu Linux to it. So
Oh, to practice for IT stuff.
yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. But that is pretty much it. Not a ton going on with me for games as per usual. One thing that I did want to bring up, there really wasn't that many highlights for the community.
None that you deemed worthy.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't looking as much this week. But yeah, there just wasn't a ton, and most of it was based around this, so I thought I would bring this one thing up. Because in Varlamore, they do ask about what types of quest rewards or rewards you
Is
would
that
want
what
in
this
general.
is in reference to?
So a lot of people were, putting out things like the chemistry necklace, which I thought was actually a good idea. It's essentially like an infinite chemistry necklace, a way to make it a lot better for herb lore and stuff like that.
Because they get out pretty quick.
Also, because one of the bosses they're going to be adding might be, or might be, it's going to be herb lore related, so they thought it'd be a good reward for something like that. So there were legitimate rewards like that, but a lot of people were doing things like, I mean, this is actually kind of an interesting idea, but it was mostly a meme. Like it was just like a blue colored a dragon sim, and they're all like a melee weapon that does magic damage. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Interesting.
And then there's a green one that, his melee does range damage, which
And it has a cannon attached to it.
we kind of already have that now.
Oh, with the new ones?
Yeah, with the new stuff. And then there's someone like, oh, we should just attach all 3 of the of the D sims and just have a blue, green, and a red D sim.
Oh, all of them.
All in one.
Just all the textiles.
Yeah, my favorite is this one. It's a D sim with each different gray, red, and black Chinchompa attached to it, and I just assume you melee people and explode them.
Yeah, over. It's like kind of like the Boom Bears thing that we do on stream.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think that'd be pretty cool because it had a good AoE aspect to the D-Sim.
Good God.
And it would cost a lot, so it'd be hard to use
True.
for a long time unless you had a lot of money.
And you'd be grinding for the Chinchompa pets to refill your D-Sim on Chinchompas.
Exactly. But yeah, generally some really interesting stuff over there, but most of it pertaining to this week's update. So I will hopefully save it for that. Last time I said I was going to save it for last time, but I ended up forgetting, so apparently it wasn't worth remembering.
Yeah.
That being said, we can move on to the actual update this week, and it is Varlamore Part 2. This is actually not the update. This is the updated blog for Varlamore Part 2. I'll go over the actual update after this.
So this is the quest and reward space.
Yes.
With the launch of Varlamore Part 1, you're finally able to hop on your Quetzal Pretzel and explore the Shining Kingdom. Well, a third of it anyway. Also, it's crazy to imagine that there's going to be 3 times as much.
I don't think so. I think that was a little facetious in like a weird way, because I seriously doubt they plan on adding 2/3 more continent. Maybe they're considering 2/3 more content.
Yeah, Because they do say there's still 2 parts left in our biggest expansion, area expansion ever. So they want to give you a first look at Varlamore Part 2. So they like, I don't know. I can't imagine it being 3 times the size it is now.
I mean, they are going to add some more stuff to the
There's a lot of
north.
stuff.
They're going to add more playable area to the north as well as the south. I just highly doubt it'll be 2/3. You know, like they're not going to add Varlamore Part 1 and then another identical island called Varlamore Part 2.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get hyped up for
Maybe.
that, but probably, fairly equal amounts of content in each one is ideal.
Um, Please note that we will still be making previous changes we spoke about last week and look to improve areas of part 1 in the future, but now we are going to be focusing on part 2. So with that in mind, let's get into it. And this is one of those things where they talk, don't say too much detail, and they just basically want your input
Yeah, this is
on
actually
what
a
you want.
very brief blog.
I thought it was gonna be so much because it was like far more part 2, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. And then it's like 3 paragraphs.
Yeah.
But would you like to start the quest?
Sure. So we're thrilled to see how much you enjoyed the first few quests in Varlamore. Obviously, released with 4, pretty exciting. A lot of quests. Probably, it was some of the, I think, the most amount of quests released at one time in either ever or quite some time.
Since Corinne, probably, if it ever.
Yeah, I don't know the last time. I'm sure someone could look it up. The last time 4 quests were released on one day, but it's definitely been many years. Not since I've played.
Yeah.
Um, the riveting tale of Lilypad's labor dispute. We highly recommend it. I am pretty sure that quest was made by Mod Ash, which is why it was also highly beloved.
It's a really cute one.
Yeah, it's a thoroughly enjoyable little quest that really captures the spirit of OS. It also generates a lot of questions about whether we'll add more surprise quests in the future. Here on the team, we love surprises, and if the community feels the same, then we'll add some more, maybe in part 2 or 3.
I'm all for adding more surprise things because we've talked before about how I think it's kind of a bummer that we know everything that's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah,
So that'd be cool.
definitely. Consequently, in the next Varlamore poll, there's going to be 2 questions asking whether you want more quests and whether you want them to be surprises. To be clear, if the surprise quests get greenlit and they do have some rewards that are going to be impactful to the game in some way, then they are going to pull those rewards. But this is just for the quest itself being a surprise, not necessarily the rewards, unless they are impactful.
This breed's just like they're tiptoeing, being like, "Are you guys okay with the surprise? Are you sure it's
Yeah.
okay?" I'm like, "You could just do a surprise."
Yeah, it's funny because like I've always felt like the polling system wasn't super necessary for a lot of things, especially whenever they skip over the poll things like they've done recently. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the actual post over on the subreddit, but the number one upvoted thing on the subreddit post for this blog was someone saying, honestly, and I'm summarizing because I don't have it here in
Yeah.
front of me, but it was essentially someone saying that like honestly, I really, as far as quests go, just add them and they don't really need to be pulled. Like no one really cares. Just add the quest and yeah, do the rewards if you need to, but just add more quests.
Did they end up making the quest capes thing so you only need a certain amount of points, or is this something they were just talking about?
I think that was something they were talking about.
Okay. But especially if they do that in the future, like it, I mean, yeah, just add fun little quests. It's whatever.
Yeah, I really hope they do limit it if they haven't yet. The
Probably just searching quest
Yeah, I meant to
without
actually do
OSRS.
Quest Cape OSRS because they did talk about having a Quest Cape cap at like 250 points because we're far over 300 at the moment.
It was probably for the elite diary thing is what we're thinking of, not the quest cape.
Yeah, I think you are correct. But yeah, so previously it was like mentioned that they wanted to do something like this for the Quest Cape, but it's not a thing as far as I can see.
Yeah. I feel bad, but like I got my quest cape such a long time ago. I'm like, I don't even remember if they end up changing this.
Yeah, for anyone that has it, it's fairly easy to keep up with it. You just do a quest every like 5 to 10 months whenever they come out with another
Man,
one.
people hate questing though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you already have the cape, it's not that bad.
True.
Chances are you don't even use it, and if you do, you could just do one more quest and that's it.
Yeah, these quests are really nice. The frog one is just like cute and silly. Perilous Moons, you're learning a boss, and the other two were just like normal, quick quest if you're looking up what to do.
Yeah. So overall, that was like kind of seemingly the consensus on Reddit is like people are just generally like, oh yeah, add quests. We generally like quests,
Yeah.
and you don't really need to pull them because it's kind of a waste of time.
I know, I thought that was silly and almost made me feel bad about it's gotten some weird backlash in the past to be like, are you guys okay with more frogs? I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you
it's
can have
like,
more frogs.
yeah, it's so weird because they introduced the polling charter and then they never actually followed either parts of it, like saying that they're going to do the poll because obviously recently they said that they can kind of just do whatever they want with the poll, like they
Hmm.
don't necessarily have to follow it. And two, being that like they're like, oh, we're not going to pull everything, and then they proceed to pull everything that seems useless in the
Yeah.
game. So it's kind of weird
It's a
that
weird situation we're in.
yeah, they're just like not really using the polling charter, even though they even bring it up here. But whatever. I mean, that's just it's nice to see that other people kind of feel the same way though.
Hmm.
That you don't really need to poll everything.
Agreed. They also do say that those questions will apply to all future Varlamore races, not just part two, so there could be more surprises in part three as well. Anyway, moving on to rewards. As we revealed in our Winter Summit, Varlamore Part 2 takes you to two extremes, the luxurious island of Alderan and the inhospitable mountain range north of Civita Illifortis. Headline content includes the new Herblore activity on Alderan, a new group boss in the mountains, and the continuation of the Varlamore storyline. Today, we want to know what rewards you'd like to see from this content, so we can make sure that you have the opportunity to vote for something you'd really like to see in the game. Here's a quick breakdown of the reward spaces we have in mind. And remember that them asking advice like this is how we got the Soul Reaper axe.
Oh,
Right?
is it?
I think so. They asked, no, oh, not quite the same. They asked
Oh,
Spice to make it.
the Soul Reaper axe was strictly made by the community.
Yeah. I was going to say, so put a lot of thought into it if you answer.
Yeah.
Herblore activity. So this high level skilling activity is designed for players with 70 plus Herblore, although low level players may still be able to join in the fun. As with any high level activity, we want to ensure that the rewards are appropriately desirable. More than any other skill type, Herblore plays a very different role for Iron players. While this activity is suitable for all account types, we want to make careful considerations regarding the ways different players interact with this particular skill. They also point out that this will not be a high intensity training method because Herblore is already pretty high intensity. As a result, they'll be prioritizing tangible rewards over XP here. We haven't yet decided how many rewards should come from this piece of content or what those rewards might be, so the floor is open to the community.
Yeah. It's kind of
Thoughts?
funny. I don't have a ton of problem with
Okay.
this general idea, but I do kind of find it a little laughable that they say that Herblore 1 is already high intensity.
It's high
When
intensity because you're spam
it's
clicking your bank over and over
it's a
again.
viable bank standing skill. It's pretty
Yeah.
much as boring as it gets in the game. I mean, doesn't mean that it's low intensity, but it's just I mean, this isn't I wouldn't call this high intensity.
I wouldn't be opposed to adding something that's comparable XP that's more fun than
Yeah.
bank standing.
Especially the fact that I mean, you a lot of people from whenever you unlock it, 80 or whatever it is, um, that you just do staminas if you can
Mhm.
afford it, which is really low intensity because it's like one click, but
Yeah.
kind of funny. It'll be nice though to have some way to get Herblore because I don't
Early than
know.
iron seems painful.
It's kind of at a weird spot for me. I mean, obviously, the majority of your XP is going to be past level 70, but honestly, early on is when I had the biggest pain point with Herblore as an Iron Man because early on,
You don't even know
you
when
don't
to get
have
stuff.
you don't have farming.
Yeah.
So I mean, I remember on my GIM, I wanted to get prayer potions, so I just spent like 5 hours killing chaos druids
I
to
did that.
level up my Herblore.
I did that too.
Like, I mean, 5 hours is definitely a low ball, but like, I don't know, that's kind of
It's not the
lame.
most riveting content.
If it was more like Wintertot, where it's like 35 or 50, that would be cooler.
Mhm.
But
It doesn't
yeah,
have to be the winter tot XP though.
because by 70, I'm 70 on my GIM, I'm 72, and I also have an equal level of farming because that is kind of how you have to level it.
Hmm.
And so, or at least really early on, I don't know, but that's how I ended up leveling it. So I feel like by that time, obviously, this would still be welcomed as a change, but it just would be nicer if it was a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I'm like not 100% self sufficient as an Iron Man, but I mean, a
Pretty
lot
close.
more than when I was 35 or 50, that's for sure.
You think it should be lower level then? I mean, they did say that potentially they might still be able to join the fun, so it seems like it's up for conversation at least.
Yeah, I wonder what makes it 70 plus, whether like the ability to craft certain
It's probably the
potions or
quest. that they just like want to have like a master level quest leading up to it or something.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if it's the quest or the boss is gonna kill you if you don't, perform well enough with high enough herblore. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, I'm just excited to have an herblore mini game because even as a main, I hate bank standing skills. Like it's so annoying. I could buy as much stuff as I need, but I don't want to. I'd rather play something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I've never understood this, and I hope I'm not the only one that thinks this like every time they log into herblore, but like the fact that combining your herb with water doesn't give you XP is kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's weird. Because it
It's
doesn't,
really
it's no
weird.
incentive to do it other than to make a little bit of money, I guess, because no
Yeah.
one else does it.
The fact that cleaning herbs gives you, but the fact that
Mixing
making
it.
mixing it, which is the same exact motion as finishing a potion,
Mhm.
doesn't give you any XP, let alone the same XP as making a potion.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of weird.
It's really, really weird.
Consistent.
I mean, you're already taking the L because you make 3 dose potions, which is also doesn't make sense.
To the Amulet of Chemistry Unlimited idea that you said people had, if they
Yeah.
made that as rare as like the Tome of Fire or something, like I feel like that could be good.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, not too common though.
Yeah, definitely could use some improvement, but
Yeah.
oh well. Maybe in the next rebalance. Group boss. So this is going to be the next thing that they plan on adding, and actually the last thing. So the Northern Mountain Range will be home to a multiplayer PVM experience. Our target group size is 3 to 8 players, but you can do this by yourself or in a mass world. In terms of loot mechanics, you'll be looking at bosses like Nex and Scurries that reward multiple players.
Good.
Unlike Scurries, we're not targeting players with less PVM experience or trying to teach mechanics. Instead, we expect that players will already have or be close to having a fire cape before taking on this boss. To put that into simpler terms, they're aiming at 90 plus total combat. Again, we feel that harder content deserves better rewards, so we plan to give out 2 to 3 unique drops from this boss. Bear in mind that this won't include pets or cosmetics, just a few rewards that impact the wider game.
The way that they said that means that there still might be pets as well. It's just that's not included in the three that they're talking about.
Yeah, so
Okay, just
the
checking.
2 to 3 unique drops, they're saying,
Our cosmetic aside.
yeah, in those 2 to 3 drops, they're actually impactful drops and not fashionscape.
Okay, just checking because I love pets in this game. So I'm like, there better be a pet.
Yeah. One other thing, we heard your feedback regarding chargeable items, and they will try to not include them in the rewards for this content. So bear that in mind whenever you let them know your thoughts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's it for their that we know on Varlamore Part 2.
Yep.
They did add a temporary Varlamore flare to post on this topic for Reddit if you guys want to post so they could find it easier. You could also reach out to them on all the usual channels, their Discord, all that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Generally, that's it.
I'm excited for it.
I don't like group bosses, so
Yeah, but
whatever.
you can solo it too.
Yeah. I guess it's yeah, not to like get super into it, but I don't like group bosses because usually it's like practically impossible to balance them, so they end up just being like a trash fire as far as like what people are doing or how effective you feel or you are or aren't in the thing. Like it's usually just like a bunch of people running around doing whatever they want, and then hopefully the boss dies, and then hopefully you get lucky. I mean, that's how the mass worlds go.
Not, I mean, maybe like the first day, but like after that, once people know what they're doing more, like next, everyone's pretty consistent with it. There's
Yeah,
always some
sure.
people who are new to the content and don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's like the worst. I don't like it because it kind of goes along with like the other things we've said where it's like I think it's generally more difficult to introduce new unique things that push the limit of your character if you are introducing it with the idea of introducing it to many players at the same time.
Mhm.
Because like I mean, without a doubt, fights are different if you're 1 or 2 people versus if you're 5 or 8 people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really care either way. I just think it's more difficult to make more interesting content if you're doing like group bosses.
I think the drops are always weird for group bosses too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's just like the drop rates are never consistent, like one number. It's like if you're MVP, if you've done this much, and if there's this much people,
Oh, I think the
it gets
MVP system
tricky.
is one of the worst systems in the game.
I like MVP when it doesn't affect against the drop. So like next you can get MVP, but anyone can get a drop. Like people always say like, oh, they stole the drop even though it's MVP. Scurrius though, you have to get MVP, otherwise you can't even get the pet, which is kind of weird.
Oh, that's even dumber. Like that and Corp are
I
really
hate
dumb.
I hate the bosses, Corp and God War Dungeon too, I guess, where only the one person gets the KC.
Yeah.
Not even like uniques. Uniques is understandable, but you don't even get a KC, man.
Yeah, that's it's really weird because it actually is like super counterintuitive because I mean chances are if the guy bringing full Torva and a
Dating
scythe
every time a Corp.
to a boss gets the kill, chances are they probably don't need the drops.
That's true.
Or in comparison, it's like, 1,000 to 1 as much need as the lower level people and the higher level people. So it's like super counterintuitive
Yeah.
and just makes it so like you only want to play with people that are your level. And if your friends aren't, then you're not playing with them. It's like weird.
I really wish that they changed how Corp works for that. God War Dungeon, I guess, makes a little bit more sense because they're easier. But Corp is like such a high level boss. Takes 15 minutes to kill alone. But if you kill people, you just won't even get a KC.
Yeah.
Your number won't even go up. It's pretty
Also, if
frustrating.
they don't make this instanceable, that'll be kind of annoying just because like
I'm sure they will.
it well, most of the bosses they come out with these days aren't. So
Yeah, it could be like the Perilous Moons, where it's instance, but you could still see other people,
I mean,
which
okay,
is kind of an
yeah,
interesting one.
maybe, yeah, if they can get it to work like that. Because I hate it when they're like, "Oh, this is the new boss. You can solo it, but hopefully no one jumps in your world."
That sucks for irons. Yeah,
Hopefully, it's
yeah.
like what?
Just leave it up to chance a little bit.
Yeah, but
We'll have to wait to hear more on that.
yeah, a little pessimistic. I mean,
I'm
whatever.
optimistic.
But yeah, hopefully it's good.
Mhm.
I don't have high hopes, but hopefully it's good.
I have high hopes personally.
Yeah. Since this is where we stopped talking about Varlamore, I actually have some stuff regarding Varlamore from this a week over on the subreddit.
Yeah, sure.
Number one is someone actually brought this. I've seen this brought up quite a few times since the beginning of Varlamore, and since nothing seems to be changing, I figured I'd bring it up.
Sure.
And the fact that the quiver is not actually, I mean, it's funny because we talked about this earlier. The quiver is not in the game as it was pulled.
Well, as I said last week, we need to just learn how to
Yeah,
read between the
we just
lines.
roll with the punches. Apparently, this is what they meant the whole time. Whenever they explicitly said that there's going to be, it's going to have the ability to hold at least two types of ammo. What they really meant was
I
one.
thought I could hold two.
It says that it would be able to hold two types of ammo and automatically switch depending on which weapon you have equipped.
Oh, does it not do that?
It doesn't hold
Not really
two,
quick.
and it doesn't automatically switch because it doesn't hold two.
I thought it held two. Someone mentioned it the other day, but someone that didn't have a quiver. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, as
What
far
about
as
this Reddit post if we're
I'm
wrong?
gonna look up Dazana's quiver because I'm almost certain it doesn't. I haven't seen it do that, so if it does, that would be kind of crazy. But yeah, originally it was supposed to hold two. I don't see anywhere that it says it holds two. It can be upgraded to
Mechanics. There we go. Two different ammunition types equipped with the applicable type fired depending on your current equipped ranged weapon. So you can. That person's just tripping. Two of the same type equipped with the ammo and the actual ammo slot prioritized.
I feel like this isn't actually how it works, and this is just what they said it was gonna work like.
Well, what did the reply say on that? Were people agreeing?
I only brought this up because obviously neither of us have quivers, but
Yeah.
this post was getting like a lot of traction over the last couple days, and like a lot of people were saying whether like it works this way or it doesn't work this way. I'm not sure exactly how it works between the two types of ammo, but it was stated that you would have an extra slot for a blessing or Gommel's lucky penny.
Oh, if
And
you
it
only have one type.
yeah, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, we
It's
had to look up the post. Sorry if it sounds a little all over the
yeah,
place.
so people are saying that it stores one type of ammo, leaving no room for the penny or blessing.
Okay.
So I think it allows you to switch, but it doesn't actually do everything that it said it would do in the original post. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of I've seen a lot of these posts saying that it doesn't work exactly how it said it should be.
Yeah, and neither of us have one to confirm. So
Yeah.
might be an issue. Someone tell us. Sorry, this might sound all over the place.
I mean, multiple other people are even like taking screenshots and showing that it says that you would be able to use, for example, dragon arrows, ruby bolts E in your quiver, and your twisted bow and Zerite would be automatically able to swap between the two, which I think it currently works that way. And
Mhm.
it says that it continues on and says, this frees up your ammo slot for a blessing or Gamel's lucky penny, and might even free up inventory slots in case you're bringing a crossbow switch.
So it's supposed to have two slots plus the penny.
Yeah,
And right now it has two slots and no penny.
yeah,
Okay,
or
gotcha.
blessing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was just thinking penny. I couldn't remember the other word.
Yeah. So and someone also said this is like the fourth or fifth thing in a row that was not released how it was pulled. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's funny because we talked about this just a minute ago.
I mean, they posted a whole blog about it last week,
Yeah.
so.
So apparently, yeah, I mean, don't trust them, but also, I mean, it's kind of obvious, I guess,
Mhm.
that it's just not working correctly. Um, Another thing that I thought was kind of funny is this is like more fashion-scapey, but people are saying that now that this post is from Rakuda over on the OSRS subreddit, now that the dust has settled around the quiver's appearance, can we talk about, essentially how ugly the Guild Hunter outfit is?
Think it's that bad for it. I don't think
Bro,
that.
bro, it's not that
No,
bad.
listen. I don't think it'd be that bad if it didn't have the weird white undershirts and
Yeah,
leggings. If it was
essentially,
just fur, then it would be appropriate. I'm like, what's with the leggings?
you're wearing like a white long sleeve and white leggings with like some Tarzan outfit over it.
Yeah, the Tarzan outfit alone would make so much sense.
Yeah, someone was like,
Leggings that didn't make no sense.
someone was saying that this sucks because not only does it feel like you have to wear it during rumors, but also I don't know the buffs to it, so they feel like they have to wear it during rumors, but they're like, where's the cheetah print and the Quetzal feathers? Like it's just a burlap sack with like a really old cheetah outfit that you're wearing and like none
True,
of the
something vibrant.
none of the really cool stuff.
Yeah, they should add it to make. They should make it more colorful, and they should get rid of the weird long johns underneath.
Yeah.
Like it should just be like a cool like barbarian vibe.
Also the fact that you're wearing like a blinds mask, like a mask where you're like in the blinds, it's like kind of weird.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's like a little mask with like little slits for the eyes where it's like you could have done like a cool like feather mask or something or
That'd
like
be
a
really cool.
leaf mask.
Something more colorful and
This is
pretty.
literally just a brown like masquerade mask.
I hate whenever they add stuff in the game. It's just beige and brown. I'm
Yeah,
like, please just mix it up.
really unfortunate. The I think there's two more things I wanted to bring up. That number one is going to be, or the next one is going to be, a lot of people are going to ask this. I already know, especially for other things, but it's starting off with the Blood Fury because recently with the Echo Boots, it's been enabled that you can actually toggle them on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So people are wondering if we have this tech, why can you not toggle on and off Blood Furies
Real.
or other things with charges like that?
Yeah.
Because chances are you don't want to use your Blood Fury everywhere. A lot of people just store it and only take it out whenever they're going to AFK something
Yeah.
or,
Go
whatever.
to like hard mode or something is when I
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird that you can't toggle them off and they're really expensive still.
Mhm.
So the only one benefiting from this is like bots.
I think that should be as well. I mean, I don't think that everything chargeable should be toggleable, like barrels and stuff,
Oh,
but
sure,
like
sure.
I think the necklace is a good one because the Fury is still a really good necklace for all people who don't have the was it the tormented or anguish? Torture.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Why are their names so similar?
Well, it's all about despair.
It's all about pain,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Surprised we don't have a despair amulet.
yeah, maybe we do. We probably do, and it's just not
Yeah,
used.
probably.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that would actually be a nice quality of life thing
Yeah.
because I waste my charges sometimes not realizing I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I definitely think, especially for the Blood Fury, that would be a really good pickup on quality
Yeah.
of life.
Very-
And the final thing that I wanted to bring up that I thought was pretty wild is this person that said any Wave One enjoyers. Wave One, shout out to anyone that farmed Wave One for the Coliseum.
Took me 20 minutes and I got bored.
This person did 5,068 waves of Fortis Coliseum, getting 460,000 shards with a total cost of 430 million worth of shards.
Jesus.
I do like to think that they did this all on wave one, but
No, they probably did.
yeah, probably.
Because
I
Wave 2
mean,
normally gives you other stuff.
I feel like they had to have done a couple other things, but
Maybe if it only gave Sunflower Splinters, they're like, fine, I'll continue.
yeah,
For the memes.
yeah, maybe. But anyways, yeah, apparently you can make a lot of money that way. And the last thing I just wanted to mention is we are going to go over this, but I figured I'll mention it here before I forget. Is people were wondering why the Naguas in the Perilous Moons were switched to being spectral types.
Ghostly.
Yeah, apparently this was a change primarily for the ectoplasmatter.
Oh, I've
So
never used that.
some
I bought in
people some
leagues.
people were wondering that maybe you could use the salve on them, but it actually doesn't work that way and doesn't give you a buff. So it's mainly for the ectoplasmatter.
I feel like the salve is very inconsistent places where it doesn't work,
Absolutely.
which is
But there is a
annoying.
buff to it coming up in this patch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the patch, Undead Pirates, Coliseum changes, and more. We're going to start out with the pirates. So today marks the beginning of an epic battle between undead pirates and elder chaos druids, conveniently located within the chaos temple between levels 9 and 14 wilderness. I have not checked out any of this so far, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in it right now. So the pesky pirates have run aground on the wilderness's east shore, and they're itching to get their bony hands on some wilderness booty. Oh my god. Ooh, ooh.
Yikes.
The elder chaos druids are fending them off, but the battle is quickly reaching a stalemate. Seems like a good time for you to show up and start looting. This one we have talked about previously. They mentioned the Winter Summit and a poll blog, so they do a little brief summary of it. So the goal of this update is to breathe some life into low-level wilderness in the hopes that specialized PvP builds like Piers and Zergs will carve out a space of their own, and lower-level players will be able to enjoy PvP without being at the mercy of PKers who are much higher level than them. In the past, the problem has been that content below 30 wilderness is difficult to make risky since players can just tally out. To up the ante, this is why, I think we mentioned it earlier, but this is why they added the Chaos Druids teleblocking you. Because otherwise, the PvP.
We didn't mention this earlier. We talked about this on the phone during the day.
Oh, that was. Yeah. So, Robert was like saying how it's like lame how they teleblock you, but the whole point is that's the only way that you can make PvP in the wilderness is if you could get teleblocked. So, you need to be blocked by someone. So the Elder Chaos Druids are unlikely to fire off teleblocks if you remain a safe distance away, but if you are unfortunate to be hit by one, you can quickly relog to clear it. Note that they will also re-up your teleblock if it's close to expiring, so be ready to run away if you plan to escape.
Yeah.
They've also opened up the southern side of the Chaos Temple to allow for 2 entry points, which means you and your friends can pincer opponents from each point. Pincer from each point or meet an opposing group in the middle. As per a poll, the hard clue step that directed players to Chaos Temple has now been moved to be near the obelisk just northwards.
Yeah. You do know what a pincer is, right?
It's like the little pincer bugs.
Yeah, but it's like a combat tactic to like a pincer, like
You go for one time and close on them.
you crush your enemy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, is it pincer? Because I always say pincher bug.
No, it's pincer.
Yeah, it's like the little bugs.
Yeah. You might like to know that usually one of them comes at the enemy's flank.
We've been saying the word flank so much recently. It's
Yeah.
such a fun word. Who came in the back and I'm like, your flank. I don't even know what a flank is, but I just do anything. I'm like, flank.
Yeah, actually, I never knew what like part of the body of the flank steak was.
Is this the flank?
I don't know.
Your side?
I don't know.
Is this your flank?
Probably.
I'm touching his forehead. You can't see.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it's pretty cool. It says on the reward front, the pirates provide reasonably consistent loot, and you'll be constantly accumulating rewards and weighing up whether or not you should leave. It's worth noting, pun intended, that the Amulet of Avarice will note your drops here, so feel free to bring one if you're comfortable with the added risk. Obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, Amulet of Avarice gives you a skull.
Oh, it does, huh?
Yep.
So you're noting it, but at risk. Okay.
Pirates also have an uncommon chance to drop adamant seeds or
Uncommon?
have an uncommon.
No, you said uncommon sounded funny.
Pirates also have an uncommon. Also, wait, the amulet does that, right?
I think it skulls you.
Yeah, no, it notes everything, right?
Oh, yeah, well, the way they said it, it will note your drops here. So, yeah, it must.
Yeah, I think I'm getting confused because I think it also gives you a better drop rate. Or maybe you just have a higher drop rate when you're skulled in revs, is what it is.
Any wilderness enjoyers listening shaking their heads right now?
Let us know. I definitely one of those things is correct. I'm just not sure which one.
Whenever I go, I just go to bosses, not the red caves.
Okay. But yeah, also pirates have an uncommon chance to drop adamant seeds or the tele anchoring scroll, which stops you from getting teleported around via the chaos druids or via the what's this?
Abyssal
Abyssal
demons,
demons. Yeah,
which are not here, by the way. That's just another thing.
yeah. Adamant seeds work pretty much the exact same way as mithril seeds, but in the opposite direction. So you might want to put on some funky dance moves during PvP, and that's the way to do it if you get frozen. The tele-anchoring scroll, formerly known as the Blip Blocker, will make you impervious to the rage-inducing tele-attacks of the Chaos Druids or Abbey Demons. A nice pickup for anyone looking to pilfer some pirate pockets. Undead pirates rapidly respawn and have low HP,
It's the
so
scurvy.
you should be able to mow them down fairly quickly using a Dwarven multi-cannon if you're willing to risk it. Uh, as you're living, laughing, and looting, you might come across a zombie pirate key, which again gives you access to their drop pool once again, and it'll double any loot received, including uniques.
Cool.
The aim is to spread a little bit more action in the single way combat zones while keeping the heart of the update in multi.
They made so many little jokes this week.
They did. They're very pirate happy.
Yeah, the scurvy one though, and the live, laugh, looting one, those were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I gotta give credit there.
But yeah, a lot of people, well, not maybe a lot of people, but some people were
One
upset
person.
that, well, I mean, it was upvoted a lot. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, some people were mad that this content does teleblock you. I personally understand the point of the
Now we know
teleblock.
the point.
No, I was gonna say I understood it even from the beginning. I just don't like getting teleblocked.
Oh yeah, no one does.
I hate that you have to force combat like that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and everyone supposedly PvPers don't like combat with people who are forced into it. They want to actually like fight people who want to fight.
Yeah, it's really dumb. It's always been a really dumb concept, and they've tried this time and time again, and it's gonna be even more egregious later in this update. Like how bad of a situation that is, but even in small situations like this where people are generally prepared for combat, it's just like not fun. Like I should want to be fighting things and then see someone come over and be like, I want to kill them.
Yeah.
Like that should be the general consensus for people doing PVM, but it's just not really. So this doesn't really fix that.
I don't know what could fix me wanting to PK, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are
Mini
just
games where I'm safe is the only fun thing.
yeah. And that's I mean, a lot of people are just checked out of PvP in that way.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not doing a good job of incentivizing it.
You don't
And
think?
some people were making good points, and I kind of agree. Where it's like, if you are a pure or a zerker, why would you be coming here for PVMing stuff?
No, it's
You'd
for them to
probably
PK, I think.
no, yeah, I guess obviously, but like the thing is, if that was your main goal, then you probably, if I had to guess, would just have more fun going to a PvP world.
They're
If I
trying.
had to
They're
guess.
trying. They're
Because I
trying.
mean, like this one is the same thing, but just in a more obscure area, right? Whatever. Seems cool. Hopefully, it's not dead content. People said it already is. I haven't checked it out, but
I didn't see anything bad about it yet.
yeah, hopefully it's cool.
On to some Varlamore changes. This week we're making changes to the Coliseum modifiers and unique drop rates. That should make your runs feel more enjoyable and rewarding. We talked about this last week, but we will go over it again in case anyone missed that one.
Yeah, they added some more details as well.
Yeah.
More numbers.
So we'll go over modifiers first. First is bees. They increase the time between movements from 7 ticks to 12 ticks and increase the respawn delay from 18 to 50 ticks. So some really big differences there.
Yeah, so if you kill one, which should be relatively quick, it'll take 30 seconds for it to respawn now, which is a lot faster than before.
Yeah.
Now Doom is going to be a stackable modifier to reflect the new behavior. Stacks reset to 0 at the end of each wave, which is already a really big improvement. Death is guaranteed at 15, 10, or 5 stacks, depending on the modifier of tier. And Doom stacks will now only be applied by Coliseum sources, which is really important because you could apply stacks with Divines or with the Soul Reaper axe before.
That's frustrating. Blasphemy. Similar to the Doom change, self-dealt damage will no longer result in additional prayer point drain if Blasphemy is active.
Yeah, that was lame. And the Doom Scorpion has been put in its cage. It is too cool for this school. So
Tried it out while I was here. I don't
Yeah.
even know what it looked like. Just a scorpion chasing you around.
just a little dude.
Just a little dude.
Yeah. I think it was actually fairly big. But
Yeah, probably.
also, we have Manti Mayhem. This has been upgraded to be even more complex,
Not even
which,
this is new.
well, this is brand new, but in addition
Oh,
to it
update
being
from last
brand
week.
new, it has been even modified further. So, tier 1 makes it so that there is an additional projectile per orb, meaning you'll get hit twice as many times for each attack. So, there's going to be 2 melee, 2 range, and 2 mage. So, make sure to pray correctly.
I wonder if you still
Also,
change the prayers the same ticks that you already do.
I
Or
think
you
you
can
do.
totally go.
It's just more punishing.
Okay, cool. Because I'm very used to when to switch prayers now with them, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I think it's the same tick. I haven't checked, but I think it's the same tick. Just it's more punishing if you miss.
Okay, because I might start going back to Coliseum again soon.
Yeah. Speaking of being more punishing, also if you are off tick and you do get damaged, you will now be venomed at tier 2, and
Nice.
tier 3 removes the forced quote unquote melee orb at the end, meaning that the mage range, oh, actually the dual mage, the dual range, and the dual melee at this point will come in any order they so choose.
Yeah, right now it's always Ranger melee, Ranger mage first,
Yep.
guaranteed. Myopia now affects auto cast spells. Manually cast spells remain unaffected. And for Relentless, tiers 1 and 2 now cause enemy attacks to ignore 33 and 66% of your defense, respectively. Tier 3 is unchanged and ignores all defense.
I think originally all the tiers ignored all your
I
defense.
think so. I'm not 100%, but I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
Bonus minimum hits from this modifier remain unchanged at 1, 3, and 6 per tier.
And lastly, Totemic. So it increased the respawn timer from 1 minute to 2 minutes after a totem has been destroyed, and reduced healing from 40 to 30% for targeted NPCs.
Huge.
Yep. So that's pretty cool. With these changes in effect, hopefully there is more reliable loot up for grabs because there's a higher drop rate.
Speaking of loot, is what you're supposed to say.
No.
Moving on to the new loot rates. Like we said last week, if you're listening, they have now changed it. So from wave 3 onwards, you can roll to see whether you're offered regular loot or new uniques. As the wave count increases, so do your odds. So previously, they were only available from what, like wave 7? Wave 6, it says.
Wave 6 and beyond.
Yeah, but like mega rare. They're a lot more common now. And at wave 11, now they're 1 out of 12 instead of 1 out of 28, which is, that was like extremely high.
Yeah. So for instance, at the same level of 6, you will have a 20% higher rate of getting a rare item at wave 6 on the new set. And at wave all the way at 11, you'll have a more than 50% chance over the old rate
That's
of getting
crazy.
a unique. So much higher chance of getting uniques. And of course, you can get them earlier starting at wave 3 instead of 6.
I'm excited about that.
Speaking of which, they also made the Sunfire armor pieces more available.
Yeah, sorry, someone just like yelled outside and threw me off for a second. So, Sunfire armor pieces have been adjusted from 3 out of 10 to 9 out of 16. Echo crystals, meanwhile, have been adjusted from 6 out of 10 to 6 out of 16. And the, what did we call it?
Glaive of
The
Rallos.
Glaive of Rallis has been adjusted from 1 out of 10 to 1 out of 16. And that one is still only available from wave 7 onwards.
Yeah,
For some
they
reason.
did make it a little bit more rare, but the chances of you getting a rare is higher.
So technically all around higher.
Yeah, technically it's probably about the same, honestly.
Yeah. But they did want to make Sunfire the most common one because it's
Because
like
it's supposed to
it's
be.
supposed to be the most, it's the least exciting probably to most people.
Yeah, and we already went over these, but they did make some buffs to these items as well, making it so that the special attacks defense for the glaive is no longer capped at 50%. And they increased the high alchemy value to 360k, so it is protected over a lot of other things now.
That's good.
The Echo Crystal now can have it has 6,000 charges up from 2,500, and can be maxed all the way to 60,000 in your boots. Like we said, the boots can also be toggled on and off, and they have a higher, or actually, you're allowed to put multiple crystals in them at once.
Oh, cool. Charger faster.
Yes. And the last couple say that when the number of charges in the boots reaches 0, the recoil effect is disabled until charged, but the boots will remain intact. So a lot of people, I don't know if they work this way, but a lot of people were worried that they would just disappear.
Oh, like a blood fury.
Yeah.
You lose your shard.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Echo crystals have a value of 90k
Yeah. That
for high alching. Sorry.
for low alching. That's a wrap on the Coliseum changes, but there are some more Varlamore tweaks. This one, They
This is
make
funny.
it. Dude, we talked about this so much last week, which makes it really funny. There's a clarification. So, we made an error in our post last week with regards to the Perilous Moon drop rates. In the post, we stated that each boss slain gives a 1 out of 56 chance of obtaining its respective armor set, totaling a around 1 out of 18 chance for unique. That much is still correct, but what is not correct is our statement that defeating all 3 bosses would provide an additional 1 out of 56 roll at any time for a total of 1 out of 14. This is not the case and has never been the case. We just got some wires crossed and we can only apologize for that. I don't even know how you just like someone just made that up.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense because like
We thought it was weird.
people were weirded out because they would kill one boss in order to get the
Specific items.
in order to get the specific items and weren't sure if this applied to it and stuff like that. So I think people asked about it and then
They were like, wait, we said what?
yeah, so I was like, I don't know, because it didn't seem like if you killed all 3 or if you killed one, you got any more or less drops. So that's I think why it was brought up.
I do think that was a very silly thing that they messed up on though.
Yeah,
They also forgot to put the drop rate on the mature Teku salamander, so it is 1 out of 1,000 every time you catch a Teku salamander
yeah.
to get the mature one.
Do you want to go over? There's like a million
We can,
small
I
changes.
think we should honestly. We could go back and forth.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, start it out.
So Nata is the rune shop person in Camtorum. Now all the runes are going to be more in line with the rest of Gilnor. The prices.
They have visually updated the pickaxe stall in Camtorum to distinguish it from crafting stalls.
They also tidied up the animation for the Blue Moon Spear.
Added a pop-up that explains how to charge the Quetzal whistle when players first claim a blueprint. Petrie will still provide this information if players ask them nicely.
This point was included in error, so
Do we still want to read it?
yeah, there's no point in me reading it, so I will skip over it.
Okay,
Additionally, the hunter and meat pouches can now be emptied directly into the bank.
cool. The Serpent Shaman inside the Colosseum has had some animations updates so their spells better reflect their powers.
This next one is also not included in this update, so we will skip it. Not saying that these won't be updated ever, just not
They're
in
in a
this
future
update.
update, so we don't want to get you guys too excited.
Yeah. That being said, players can no longer walk inside the fence of the bridge, so sorry for any park locked iron players.
It's actually phased through the fence on the bridge in Civita Illa Fortis park locked iron players.
Oh.
Grow up.
Okay.
A crop circle leading to Piro Piro should now spawn as intended in the wheat field near Civita Illa Fortis.
It's Puro Puro.
Piro Piro. What did I say?
You said Piro Piro.
Piro Piro. Don't make fun of me.
Like I said, Naguas are now spectral.
Bees inside the Coliseum are now more visible.
Adjust some of the terrain near the Sunfire Antelopes to make it less annoying to hunt.
Special attack energy no longer regenerates between waves in the Coliseum.
I saw that some people were like sitting in the reward screen waiting for the
That's what I'm
for
gonna
their
start
energy
doing.
to restore. Well, you can't now. So
Shoot.
they fixed a bug where the stash unit could store Sunfire armor would interact with a similar stash unit in Trollheim when filled or emptied. I think some people had their armor disappeared because of this.
I would cry. Fixed a bug where so far Nagoya's special attacks were increasing the player's action delay rather than their own.
Nice. And then we have some wilderness changes. That's it for all the Varlamore stuff. This is some of the stuff that we have already gone over, so I'm not going to go over all of the details. But this is just the wilderness changes that we actually pulled and successfully input to the game.
Cool.
So this is obviously the wilderness agility course changes primarily. So for an upfront fee of 150k, you'll start gaining additional loot for every lap. Simply touch the pillar at the end of the course and you'll get loot and energy topped up. If only gyms work this way. Yeah,
a real funny guy riding.
Yeah, really cool guy.
So funny.
Dying within the course, including the underground area, will lose your 150k, although you can rest easy knowing it won't be transferred to a PK. It is simply gone.
Yeah, just a gold sink.
And they do have some numbers here saying what type of loot you can expect. So for the first 15 laps, you'll get around 10k per lap. All the way up to every 15, it goes up. With 61 plus laps, going to be 40k loot per lap.
Nice.
So if you've done 100 laps, then, for 40 of those laps, you'll get 40k each. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Your lap streak will reset upon logging out or leaving the course. So obviously, if you get scared away, then you will lose the incentive.
Try to get brave.
Yeah, so they say bring your tank gear and stick it out. You'll get about a 50-50 split of alkables and blighted items, uh, which should score you both consistent profits and supplies. And if you have any empty inventory, it'll also give you unnoted blighted items so you can eat while tanking
That's
things.
nice.
Yeah,
On on top of this, you'll have a 1 out of 40 chance per lap to receive a medium clue scroll, which, good excuse to leave.
yeah,
And keeping with the whole Rising Undead thing we've got going on this week, we also added more skeletons around the course. So this should cut out some of the instant logging escapes. Additionally, they're also making the area single plus combat similar to the Revenant Cave, so you can't just avoid other players by boxing a skeleton. Outside the opt-in system, you'll still be earning some improved XP rates at this course without needing to pay the deposit. At the end of each lap, this is with paying or without
without
paying?
paying.
Without paying.
Yeah, without paying.
You'll go to the dispenser for a baseline 200 XP per ticket. So now they have Wilderness Agility tickets. Redeeming more will grant additional XP modifiers as followed. So 1 to 10, you get the usual XP, up to 101 plus tokens, granting an additional 15% XP. So tokens are the same as tickets.
Yeah, and it does retroactively occur for all of the tokens that you redeem at one time. So for instance, if you turn in 101 tokens, you'll get 23,230 XP because that is the higher rate at which you would get it at. You won't get the 200, the 210, the 220, and then the 230. It'll just all be 230.
So save them up.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to do 50, make sure to do 51 in order to get all of the extra
Smart.
XP.
True. Okay.
So
Good point.
yeah, make sure to keep that in mind. And this is kind of what I was talking about with like how like ridiculous the PvP thing is, because
I'm trying to make people PvP. By
yeah, the
forcing
thing
them
is
to leave.
they're like adding these incentives so that regular PVM players that don't really want to PK go here, so that PKers have more pinatas to fight. Because you're not gonna fight back unless you're one of those weirdos, or you're making like a YouTube video where you anti PK people.
Yeah.
Um,
People don't actually do that.
yeah, this is weird. Like this is weird.
It's strange, but I did go to the Wilderness Agility course before, and I thought it was a nice change of scenery. So
Yeah, no, I think it's cool if you come here with like nothing and just are going for XP. This is a cool little buff.
but the money part,
But
eh.
yeah, the fact that you're like, oh, if you stay here for a couple hours, you might have 500K, and then it's like,
But
all
I'll
right,
get PK'd and lose it.
yeah, you're just making antelopes in a jungle. Like you're gonna die.
I would just focus on the XP only, not the money.
Yeah, I think maybe just take your wins when you can, and don't really expect money here unless,
There's so many worlds, you could probably find M2.
yeah, I was about to say, unless like this is like what you like to do, obviously, and you kind of enjoy the running away aspect, then obviously this might be for you. Other wilderness and PvP changes. Lastly, we have a few more changes, and these are really just a few bullet points to make some quality of life stuff in the wilderness happen, and make people a little happier. So they reduce the spawn timers for most NPCs in the wilderness, including bosses but not revs, to 9 seconds.
Improve the quality of the following Wilderness Slayer bosses: Bandits, Dark Warriors, Rogues, and Ankus, Hellhounds, Ice Giants, and Jellies. And those are all like in their respective areas.
Yes. Also, improve the aggro range of Ankus, Lesser Demons, Ice Giants, and Hill Giants.
Removed a crate in the Pirate's Hideout in the Deep Wildy, allowing Dwarven multi-cannons to be placed in the middle.
Okay.
Do you want to read their joke, Ron? Is that what you're laughing at?
Absolutely
You
not.
guys can read the joke yourself.
Marginally improve the drops of the following NPCs. For bandits, now they drop some additional rune items, and high level rogues drop 1 to 3,000 GP per kill because they are high level rogues.
Yeah. Superior Slayer monsters now have a 10% increased chance to spawn during Wildy Slayer tasks.
It's actually a really big
That's huge.
increase. Players can now purchase imbued god capes from Purdue for 250K once they're done with the mini quest.
Inboxes can no longer be used on PvP worlds. Their primary use was for scamming other players. Oh, wow. Okay, that makes sense. They're also additionally manually uncharging your imbued items will refund 100% of the point seal up from 80%. I don't know how PvP worlds work, clearly.
Yeah. So I just made it so if you uncharge it, you can just recharge it again.
Okay.
Also, this is like I mentioned earlier. There's a bit of a buff to things like the Salve Amulet or the Slayer Helm, because previously you might not want to bring those things to the Wildy, because you could die and lose them. But now, dying with an imbued item such as the B Ring imbued, Salve Amulet, or Slayer Helm, if it's lost on death, will now
Oh,
refund the points required to imbue it or the imbue scroll that you
that's
used.
sick. Yeah, because I would never bring any of these before.
Yeah, so now for things like the Salve Amulet, it already has a fairly low high alch price, so it should just generally be a win to bring it for anything that is undead or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the Slayer helm. It's a lot of points to imbue that. So.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you will get the points back, but the Slayer Helm will cost you some
Oh
money
yeah,
because it is not generally protected
like a mill.
unless, yeah, you have a lot of expensive things on you.
We've also got some more complex changes introduced to prevent abuse. I
Nope,
don't.
nope, we are
Yeah,
not going to talk about
it's a
this.
lot. It just makes mostly PJ timer interactions have been changed a little bit.
Yeah, the only PGA timer that I really want to talk about is the ones for World 318 and 319 because these are being removed entirely. And the crazy part is this was promised in 2022.
Oh my God! Wow, they took a long time to
Yeah,
do that.
crazy that it took that long.
Jesus.
Um, yeah, actually insane. They also added some other stuff. So players who are in combat in single way zones can no longer instantly have heal other, spec transfer, or venge other cast on them while running into a multi zone. This is,
It's just people would be
yeah,
cheating.
kind of like a lure type situation.
Yeah, you
Um,
also players can't pick up raw food and cook it mid-fight, which was very rare but would happen.
yeah, they says as funny as this behavior is, it's not really in the spirit of PvP.
You're
So
just watching, you're fighting someone, fighting for your life, and they start cooking little scrimps in front of you. That's humiliating.
yeah,
I'd be like, "Are you serious?"
yeah. So no, it's not going to show cookable items.
Yeah. No more raw food for you guys.
Yeah. Similarly, manually dropped food or potions will now despawn faster, so obviously they don't want this behavior to
Yeah,
happen anymore.
they're just all hooking you up too much.
Yeah.
They also announced some more plushies. They look really good. So we have a gold trimmed rune champion, a dragon chain body guy, a little cute noob, and Virtus robes. I was so confused what was next to the cute noob, Robert. Do you know what it is?
The cute noob.
What's he holding?
What's he holding? The cute
I
noob.
couldn't tell.
It
I know
looks
it now.
like chainmail or a fish.
What's your final guess?
Shrimp.
Yep, it's a net with shrimp in it.
Shrimp.
What do you say? Shrimp.
Shrimp. I was like, there's only one thing that's orange that early in the game.
Yeah,
It's a shrimp.
I couldn't tell. I literally thought it was chainmail too, and because the shrimps look like little bird beaks. But
Yes.
yeah, it's so cute. I didn't really like any of these plushies as much as the other ones, but that did make me want the little shrimps.
Yeah, of course.
I like the animal plushies the most though. The little guys aren't as fun for me. But yeah, so if you buy 2 of these plushies, you get a 5% discount. 3, you get 10% off, and 4, you get 15% off. So go pre-order those now while you can, and remember they do take several months to go into production and get delivered to you.
Yeah, these are all pre-orders.
Yes.
Some other changes. So feast your eyes on the last few changes. So visually update the footprint of Razorback Kibits so they don't blend into the ground.
Adjusted pathfinding for pitfall and deadfall hunter creatures, and adjusted their terrain to prevent them getting stuck on scenery.
And there was a hotfix for wall beasts no longer preventing players entering the Lumbridge swamp caves. We've considered adding extra spike to the spiny helmet as further
Oh my
punishment.
god. The strength skill guide now lists the correct defense level requirement for the Blood Rager armor set.
Yeah, and because I thought for surely I would have missed this
Okay.
for the last two things we mentioned, the last two entire blog posts, but we read them entirely pretty much, and I didn't see it, so I'll mention it now.
Okay.
This is honestly the biggest part of this whole patch for me.
Is this like goofy?
No. So now, whenever you go to Death's office, he will tell you the expected fee to reclaim your items.
Thank you. Honestly, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Do you
crazy.
remember that time I lost 12 mil reclaiming my stuff after dying at DK's?
Someone
I'm
said
like, why couldn't you warn me?
it's funny because a lot of people mention DKs.
Yeah, because it's
And
dangerous getting back to them too. So
yeah,
you save time.
and someone said that they lost over 100 mil at DKs.
I've heard some crazy amounts of DKs, yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus. That's a huge quality of life thing. Wow. I like that.
yeah. So hopefully you don't spend 100 mil accidentally
Hee hee.
reclaiming your gear.
Now you'll just know you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean probably, but so yeah.
Anyway, that's it with the updates this week.
That
So
is it. So we can move on to the Q&A.
yeah. First question is from Matt over on Discord, and we did not read these questions because, like I said, we're kind of like pushing this to go out last second. I stream in 25 minutes. But anyway, so let's see if we can wing these answers. Matt said, do you think OSRs would have been as popular if it was released for the first time today with graphics as good as Red Dead Redemption 2, but the same gameplay exists? The world would start as big as OSRs when it was first released and eventually expand into the current world if it's popular. For this question, assume RuneScape 3 does not exist and the game was produced by Activision after they received a pitch from the developers. I personally think it would not be as popular. I think you'll be frustrated with the long grinds and quests and resort to other games that have faster leveling systems instead. People that like the gathering concept might just choose Animal Crossing or a similar game. I think OSRs took off because of the loyal nostalgic fans who were so passionate they inspired others to join them. Hard agree. I don't
um,
I think people would play, but I think yeah, the nostalgia factor is what brought me back. I think that's what brought you back too.
yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I think it would be fairly popular. Maybe not as popular as it is now. I actually don't even think the visual upgrade would make the game more popular. It might even make it less popular.
I think I'd make it less because there'd be other like potentially more fun to play games with the same good graphics.
Yeah, as weird as it is to say, I think one of the things that draws a lot of skillers to the game is the fact that the skills do take so long.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, there are other games that have better skilling systems, like Black Desert or even New World have some better skilling systems in the game, and people don't play those for that as long just because BDO to a less extent, but they
Hmm.
just don't take as long to do,
Yeah,
and
people like it.
they're not as involved.
Like grindy games sometimes. I just feel like it would be as popular as it is now.
Yeah, because like in those games, they are better like skilling systems, but they're not super diverse. Like there's a lot of ways to level skills in OSRS and they take a long time. So I think those two things are kind of important
Hmm.
for a lot of skillers.
I didn't read also, there was some other responses. So Covey in our Discord said, as a new player myself, I just got into it like half a year ago because of the long grinds, not in spite of them. There isn't another game like OSRs that's as good for playing while doing chores or watching a movie. I'm actually surprised there aren't more new games like this that could be marketed as things to play AFK.
Yeah, exactly.
That's yeah, exactly what you're saying about skilling.
Yeah, I think people like how long it takes sometimes.
Yeah. Hariger also said that he agrees with that. I got addicted to fishing early on while listening to music. You can't do that in Animal Crossing, for example. Have to actively control the rod. Which, yeah, Animal Crossing you cannot AFK. I have tried. It's not an AFK game. Some mobile games like Zombie Farm, if that's still around, or Clash of Clans are AFK, obviously, but not many in the RuneScape sense. Anyway, have a question I was thinking about at work today. Since my company's executive team is traveling on a company world tour to different offices. That sounds like you work for like little rock stars or something.
Sounds like an executive.
Okay, I guess. So the question, two questions. Would it be cool if the Jagex team did a world tour where they visited different major cities in the world with high level account and did a convention with live OSRS music, stand up comedy, costume contests, meet and greet, etc.? This would just be Runefest worldwide.
Yeah, who are they saying was doing this?
It'd just be like the Jagex team.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
like the meetup aspect of it, I mean, I'm imagining it's like a panel, like at Comic Con, and you like ask them questions and talk about it. Because otherwise, like, I don't really know what they'd be going for. It'd probably just so we could have like a behind the scenes thing, or alternatively, it would just be like RuneFest
Yeah, I think
and
that would
TwitchCon.
be pretty okay, I guess.
Hmm.
The thing is, like, that wouldn't be super interesting. I feel like they could make it really interesting and really interactive. Like, for example, if they, like, did, like, all these events or whatever, and then they did, like, a panel interview at the end of it, and then,
Hmm.
like, maybe even like you could join the Discord and like listen in on all the mods like talking or having fun, and it would just be them talking. I don't want to hear anyone else. And then maybe they would like have a Q and A where it's like they have pre like filtered questions from people, and
Hmm.
then the people would ask them somehow through like a moderated system, and then they could answer it live and in game at the same time. That would be cool. It would just be a lot of work,
Yeah,
and I don't really see how it'd be any better than like just a regular live stream.
yeah. And if they did this, I don't think it'd be. more than once.
Yeah.
It couldn't be like a prolonged thing. I think also because like I was comparing to Runefest, I think something like Runefest also makes it feel so special is it doesn't happen frequently. I think that Runefest could have more city locations for sure, like maybe do it like twice or three times a year, but like doing it too much going from city to city, I think would make it lose its like exclusive feel,
Yeah.
which is part of what people like. Harrier did also ask though, what U.S. cities would they visit if they came here?
I
San
mean,
Diego, baby. Only.
probably just the main ones. You know,
Just San Diego.
New York and L.A.
And like Dallas. I feel like Dallas is a big one.
We'll just leave it at New York and L.A.
Dude, we don't go to other states.
Yeah.
Seattle. I want to go to Seattle. So let's say
Yeah.
we'll go there so we could go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I liked the idea of events. I think they should do more events. I think they are really missing out on community growth by not having events.
Yeah. I
For
mean, hopefully they change that now that they see how much interest there was in Runefest. They
Yeah,
made so much more money. They like really played themselves there.
yeah, kind of weird, but yeah, just like more events. Honestly, it's not that hard if you just hire like
They need to hire an event coordinator.
yeah, like a CM and like a dev, and they could just pretty much do events all year. And I mean, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's a lot bigger of a game, but there's events that go on every week in World of Warcraft, and they're actually pretty memorable.
In
So
real life.
no, like
In game.
in
I'm in
game
real
events.
life. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no,
huh?
no. I mean they do have BlizzCon and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. I mean they do events every single week. Like there's I mean, some are obviously not as cool as the others, but they are pretty cool, pretty memorable, and usually people get fairly excited about them.
I feel like for us in this community, it's more clan events. You have to join a clan if you want that special every
Yeah.
week vibe.
Again, it's kind of just lazy. It's like you're expecting the community to like do your job for you.
Well, if you guys do want to join in on events, reminder that on Friday, every Friday I'm doing boss competitions. This week it's at Guardians of the Rift, which is maybe not the best boss to advertise.
Yeah.
It's not one of the most exciting, but if you want to do an event,
There you go.
yeah.
But that is going to be it. Thanks again for the questions. Sorry for rushing them, but we will continue answering them if you have any more. Hopefully, you put them in next week. So, thanks again for listening. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it. If you did, you can check out our social medias.
Yeah, our Twitter and TikTok are Bunebapeosrs. Our Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube are all Bunebape. I make shorts every single night, and I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. So come stop by. And remember, I'm doing a Scurrius cosplay one day after this is out. So come see the Scurrius cosplay. Like, dude, this rat is the cutest thing in the world. I love him.
Okay. That's going to be it. Thanks again for listening. Hopefully, you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all
Very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.